This is the place to be for tips, tools, strategies, everything you need to take the hassle out of your hustle and build a profitable business that is fun to run. And today is Tuesday. So you know what happens on Tuesday. We have the digital diva herself, Terry Johnson, online, who will be presenting to us all about a new Gen Z study. So tune in, get tag a buddy, share this with somebody. For everybody watching live, thank you for tuning in. For everybody watching on the replay, thank you for tuning in. And TJ, what do you have for us today?
Well, first of all, I want to apologize for starting late because, I'm here and I wanted to test something new and I see that it's not working. So I wanted to be in more than one place at a time. So this is, we do live stream. We talk about social media, but we do live streaming. So I love to test different things. So I was trying to do two, I'm like trying to set it up before we started the show, but we ran into some trouble. And just give me a minute and I want to check something.
We're live on Facebook.
Yes, we're live on Facebook, but I'm trying some other things in another spot. And it's not, the key is not working, so I'm just checking the key. And I apologize for the lateness. And, we started late and everything is just topsy-turvy. But we're going to get started in a few minutes and we're going to talk about Gen Z, Generation Z, which is that, the group of kids that were born 1995 to I think a few years ago. So there's been a very important study that I want to talk about, and I heard a little bit of it on the news about Instagram, and I investigated it further, and I said, okay, I want to talk about this instead of what I had planned. So that's why we see, if we seem a little discombobulated and stuff, is because I had something else planned, and then this new stuff popped up, and I was like, okay, let's try this. Okay, so I'm just, hold on just a second, please. I'm just trying to see why it's not working. One more second. And thank you, we want to thank you for coming to the show, because this is where we talk about, social media marketing and content marketing and all the things that are happening now, to where, we want you guys to be informed, because, if you're a business owner, if you're not a business owner, if you're thinking about starting a business or you have a Shopify store, we still want you guys to be informed. And this is a part of that we're trying. And I got so many windows open. I apologize, guys.
Well, see, here's the thing too. Even if you're not in business, you still need to know what's going on. So you can share this with someone else. It's not just for business, it's for everybody. Social media is among us. We just need to embrace it. Digital media, digital marketing. You need to understand what's happening, and so that you have understanding of what's going on.
Yes, you need to have understanding. And that's a part of what we're doing right now is, when I find out news, or if I, set up something and say, okay, Tuesday, we're going to talk about this subject. But if I see something, what happened is I saw a news story today about Instagram finally overtaking Snapchat with teens. It's a 1% lead, but it's there. So the news story that I saw this morning, just pretty much, they just said that, and they, it was like a 30-second clip, and they went about their business, with the rest of the news. But I was like, wait a minute. Where did they get that information from? So I'm the data hunter, the numbers, the numbers nerd. I'm going to find the stat, and I'm going to say, well, this information, it says this, and this, and where did they get it from? So when I decided to do the search and find out about Instagram overtaking Snapchat with teens, I found the whole thing with the new study, and it's an annual study. Let me bring up the information real quick. I apologize, guys, because usually I have my stuff up. So it's a study by Piper Jaffray. It's an investment firm, and they do this study. They've done this study 36 times for the last. It's the 36th annual, a semi-annual Take Stock with Teens survey. Okay, so before I get really started, we didn't really introduce it like, hey, we're glad you're here. I hope everyone's here. I'm unable to check because, like I said, my setting is all messed up. But if you're here with us live, we appreciate it. I always invite everyone to come on over and bring their opinion to the discussion, to the chat. Bring your opinion, give me your thoughts. Let us know if you like it, dislike it, what you think. And of course, with the subject matter of Gen Z and millennials, by them being so close, that millennials get a bad rap. And when you tell older people about millennials and Gen Z, they just, they don't want to hear about it because they're entitled, all those things, stereotypical that they say about millennials, the young youth generation. But I always like to look at them because they are the group that drive the trends for the older crowd, the 35 and up, which may be your market. So it's always good to look ahead and see what they're focused on, because it's going to eventually move over to each generation. So we have the Gen Zs, we have the millennials, we have the Gen X, and then we have the baby boomers. I hope I didn't leave anybody out. I think that's the hierarchy, the steps of by age grouping. Demographics by age grouping is what we're talking about. So Gen Zs, which is they're born 1995, starting at 1995 and all the way up, that they're calling them the connected generation. They're connected. They have the devices. They, look at YouTube and Snapchat and Instagram, and they're always connected to their device. So this group is always interesting, and a lot of people are studying it. So we need to know more about them, even though this may not be your audience. This may not be your target market. So I want to, thank you guys for here. Of course, the replay gang. Always want you here when you're watching this replay. You're not watching it live with us. Just let us know in the chat. You can put replay gang. You can type hey, whatever you want to type. I'm not going to make you stick with putting in a hashtag. But I like to see who's using the hashtag in the comments, in the chat, after we've gone live, after this lives on and on. So thank you both groups for watching. So we're going to talk about Gen Z and the study. So this Piper Jaffray study, they looked at 8,600 teens, U.S. teens. Let's clarify. So it's U.S. teens, not worldwide. So they are looking at them because this group, they're saying that they control almost $44 billion in discretionary spending. It's a lot of money. And if you're in business, you need to add more customers to your audience. So that's what I'm saying. You may have to look back at the younger crowd and see what kind of discretionary income they have, because this is another misconception that teens in this age bracket don't have money. Well, they have money because their parents, if they're in a certain age, certain income bracket, the parents are giving them credit cards and giving them an allowance through a card. They don't give allowance in cash. There's apps, and I saw one the other day. There's apps that let you, as a parent, set up giving allowance through your phone. You don't have to go to the bank and, or maybe you get paid on a Friday and you go, well, I got to get enough cash to give my kid for the allowance for the week. You don't have to do that anymore. There's an app that does it, that automatically sends it to them, and then you can set up chores. Like if they don't do these chores, they don't get the money and they have to check it off. Also, they get a card. They get a debit card connected to that money. So you never have to touch cash. You just set it up on your phone in a couple taps, and they get their allowance based on the rules that you set. So see how that they do have money. And we're talking a certain income bracket. And I believe, hold on, my phone just went dark. They have, they looked at households that were either average income was 55,000. And then they looked at households that were like over 150,000, I think. So they didn't look at, say, just the say the upper income, they looked at two different groups of teens.
Right.
Based on averages. Okay. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. So like I said, Generation Z, it contributes approximately $830 billion to the U.S. retail sales annually. This number is from Piper Jaffray. I will put the link in the chat later when we're done. So if you really want to go over and look at the numbers, you can. So again, this is the generation born 1995 up to 2012. They make up 1/4 of the U.S. population, or nearly 73 million people. They're saying by 2020, Generation Z will account for 40% of all U.S. consumers. So you have to be ready to market to these new customers. They're going to be ready, but you have to know their behavior, the things they like, the brands they like, what they follow, what they do. And what better time to get started than now? So let's, if you've got that thing where millennials, there's that thing about millennials.
So the millennials are prior to 1995 then?
Yes. No, the millennials are 1995. I believe I
think they're prior to this because of the Gen Zs are 95 to 2012.
Yes.
Okay, so then that means the millennials were something in 95, probably.
Yes, I had it pulled up, but I don't have it right now. But we can look that up.
I'll look it up while you're doing that.
Right, but Gen Z is definitely starts in 1995 to 2012 is where they're putting it. And then everybody after 2012, they're probably going to give them another name.
Now they're going to be Gen A because we have exhausted the alphabet.
Going out of letters, so I don't know if they're calling them the connected or if they're going to start looking at it, but that's what they're saying, that Gen Z is 1995 to 2012. So what? Let me start over because I'm getting behind myself. So I talked about the $44 billion in discretionary spending. So that's a lot of money available to reach them. And then again, this is 8,600 teens with an average age of 16 years in the survey that they talked to. So they looked at discretionary spending patterns, fashion trends, technology, and brand and media preferences. Okay, so they looked at it, and they looked at a diverse subset of high schools across the U.S. This is what Piper Jaffray is saying in their information. Also, they had they could let us download the presentation, but you had to request it. And they had so many requests that I haven't heard anything yet. But if I get that presentation, I'll put that up too. So, but this is what they have so far. And again, I found this because I saw on the news this morning that they made a quick story that Instagram is now more popular with teens than Snapchat by a percentage. So it's I think they said Instagram was 86%, and then I think they said Snapchat was 85%.
Could it be because the Gen Zs by their age, meaning that they're 95 to 2012, that the people 2012 and under are still over on Snapchat, and maybe they've outgrown.
I like that you brought that up because why the story caught my eyes because they were saying that Instagram is more popular with Snapchat, but for different reasons. And that's why when I heard about it, I went to see the study, and I was right that they're saying that it's for brands and business for marketing to reach that audience. Instagram is now taking over, but Snapchat still has its uses with this group because of the privacy tools that they have. I mean, Instagram has some where, now they have where you can do a video with up to 6 people in a direct message. But Snapchat has that privacy thing on lock where if you're a group of teens, they can communicate with each other in Snapchat, and no one outside of their circle, their squad or whatever, will know what they're sharing unless one of the people inside of the circle shares it out. So Snapchat still has a hold with that group because of they can talk to each other. It's like a secret club. No one knows what they're talking about.
It's kind of like the cast of Stranger Things. like all 4, 5, 6 of them can all be talking. The parents don't have a clue. And
thank you, exactly.
And
See,
but
I don't watch. I've heard of the show. I haven't watched. I've heard of the show, but I haven't watched it. So that's what they do. They have a group that they communicate with each other outside. The parents don't know what they're talking about, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
Yeah, so the kids probably have their own language, and they call them the rents now. It's not parents, they call them the rents. Don't get me.
The rents. So see, and we talked about this in another show where I was saying that conversations are going dark, are going private, are going below the level of where you can see them as parents and as business owners. There's conversations going on that people want to have more privacy because of the things that are happening on Facebook and now with Google. And then you have people that are losing their jobs because they're doing, things in the public, and those videos are being shared publicly, and then they're getting the backlash and getting fired. So a lot of those people are taking their conversations private, where I could say what I want to say, and then it's not public. It's not for public view, where it can be shared, and then everybody knows that you did this awful thing. So it's starting to go there. We're in the early stages of it, where there's apps and different places to meet, where you have to be a member of the club to have the conversation.
Correct. So they're not letting you in. You need to know the secret password.
The group communities. And then on a larger level, it can go to where it's not kids, but it's adults, and they're talking about a sensitive subject, maybe say health or cancer or something like that. And they want to have a private community where they're not going to be attacked by people outside, trolls and harassment and things like that. They want to feel safe. So they go inside these communities, and they use Facebook for it, but it's a group where Facebook asks you questions, and if it's about health, you can say, well, do you have this condition? What is the problem? And do you feel whatever? So the person running the group can decide who to admit based on the answers. Correct. See how that, and then once you're in the group, it's a safe space where you can talk about that topic with strangers and you won't get attacked. So people are starting to feel that way, because the social media, it gets a bad rap all the time, but like I said, it's just a tool. It's how you use it, and it's the person using it. How are they using it to help, to attack, to meet new people, to talk about a shared topic, all of those things. It's multi-layered.
We have a couple of people. We got Pat Murray in the Facebook chat, as well as Lakeisha Appleton, and David Vaughn has graced us with his presence.
Hey, David Vaughn. I said his whole name, David Vaughn. So I want to pull up my other app so I can see the comments, because the way I have it set up. And again, we started late. I'm testing a new setup. We always test stuff here.
So, yeah, we like breaking stuff and
breaking. Yeah, we like breaking stuff. So I was trying instead of one thing, I'm trying to broadcast two things and seeing how it's going, and then I'll gauge the results.
And while she's fixing what we broke over here, the term millennial generally refers to generation of people born between the early 1980s and 1990s.
Okay, so there we go. So that would be 80s to 95, mid 80s to
95. Right. Yes. And I was like, oh, that is interesting. The millennial generation is also known as Gen Y because it comes after Gen X. Gen X are those people born between the early 1960s and the 1980s.
Okay.
And then the baby
boomers are 64 and
before up through the 60s. So baby boomers or anybody, but then you have the other generation that came before the boomers. So yeah, interesting.
So we're caught up. So that's the hierarchy of the age grouping and demographics, because it's important to know who do this is a part of audience building. Who do you want to reach? Who do you want to become your customer? What are the things they like? You need to know that, the demographic. So this is a part of that. Now, back to the study. Now, they found that hold on. Okay. So some of the key spendings, we'll go to that. Spending and shopping behavior. So food continues to be teens' #1 spending category. They do 24%. Chick-fil-A is the #1 restaurant with them, followed by Starbucks. Male spending on video game reaches a new peak at 40%. So them spending money on video games is rising. The notable brand gainers in this group, that means the brands that they pay attention is Vans. I was just talking to my daughter about that last night. She said at her high school, that's all they're wearing is Vans. And we talked about Vans a while ago.
And Vans came out in the 60s?
Yeah, the 60s. We talked about that brand, so we might want to revisit it. But she said that Vans that's the hot brand now. So Adidas is on the rise, Lululemon, and Crocs.
Those are some ugly shoes, but okay.
Yeah, but see, again, we may not like this stuff, but this is what they like. So
they like them.
Right. So you got to figure out why they like Crocs. That's an interesting story. So I want to dig more into that. So now let's talk about female spending for teens in this group. They're spending more on personal care and beauty and makeup. Hello, Lakeisha. Over fashion accessories.
Yeah.
And I have a theory about that YouTube, because there's so many women and girls, females on YouTube that are doing beauty makeovers, beauty tutorials, talking about new makeup, new colors, new brands, new this. I think YouTube contributes to that.
But you said something that's interesting, that they do the makeup, but not necessarily the fashion.
Fashion accessories like shoes, bags, jewelry. That was higher on their, I guess, on their list of, okay, we care more about that. But now beauty, which is personal care and makeup, and you can see that with all the new brands coming out. The Kardashians have a line. Rihanna has a line. Whoever else has had a line. So makeup is having a rise, and makeup is one of those groups, those industries where it's been around for a
very long time.
Right. So, but you have to look at the trend. So what's trending? What's making this rise? My opinion is video, YouTube.
Right, because they want to look good on video. And then, and it could be some stuff that's happening in school where people are saying things that if you don't look a certain way, then you don't fit in, because all of that could be playing into that. And
then realize that because when I was in school, we got beauty stuff from magazines. It was just, there was no video. There was no, unless you went to the mall to get a makeover, from the beauty counter, or you got it from the magazines. And magazines were always doing the spread by, these are the fall colors, this is the that colors, this is the new lipstick trend, this is the new whatever. So now all of that for this group is now on YouTube. Instead of them going to a magazine, they're like, a magazine, what would I want that for? When I go to YouTube, go to their favorite beauty blogger or whoever talking about beauty and makeup. If they're doing a video every day or every other day, they're going to get the views. So that's why I'm thinking that the rise of personal care, like beauty and skincare, from video, from YouTube. But that's my opinion. That's not in the study. That's just, I'm thinking what precipitates the rise over the other fashion stuff.
Now, what did you say the number was? Because I have Nielsen has millennial buying power at 65 billion, whereas Gen Z is estimated at 100 billion.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. So he says, this study says that Generation Z consumers already control almost 45 billion in discretionary spending.
Okay, so but there's an estimated 100 billion of available, considering 93% of the parents are influenced by their children in purchasing decisions. Gen Z likely has a larger reach than their individual buying power shows. Wow.
Okay, so David has said, David, I'm trying to see your comment.
It says, I said this is David says, let me push it up here. I said this a long time back when live video started on Facebook. It was too much hype. We don't come to Facebook to only spend time in one area or post. Facebook is like a flea market. We want to look around. YouTube, we go over there for video.
Yep, he's right. He's right. But Facebook has got this thing where, you know, they're trying to push video. And there was Mike Stelzner had a discussion on Friday on his show about Facebook video. So we can take a little detour and talk about this. I was going to bring it up on Friday, but he has now discovered that the Facebook video watch time is not really true, because it's not people watching, it's people scrolling by. So he compared his video watch time on Facebook to his YouTube watch time, and he sees that YouTube is steady, and his Facebook watch time was a high at the beginning and then a sharp decline drop off after a certain amount of time. So that concerns him. So he's saying, oh, I'm taking all my stuff to YouTube. He's taking his shows to YouTube. He's got more than one show. But I think the Friday show where they talk about tech and stuff will probably stay on Facebook. So he was also saying that he did a little small clip, like a minute, and it got more engagement and more views than the longer form video that they do on the other shows. Like the Friday show is an hour. Then they have a Tuesday tips. I think they have a Tuesday show. I'm not sure the length is probably half an hour. And then they have another one where they do an AMA, but all those shows are half an hour and up. So he discovered that, Facebook video watch time is not really true, because those are people scrolling by. Like David said, these people on Facebook to see stuff from their friends and family, you know, pictures, babies, weddings, engagements, birthdays. If you're talking about business, like let's use them for example, I'm not really going to look at your video unless I know that that's something I'm concerned with. So of course they're going to get a scroll by if someone shares to their personal profile.
Okay, so here's the thing. Pat Murray has a comment. She said, when my niece was a young teen, she called herself informing me, quotes, about the popular brands. She was absolutely floored and horrified when I told her that the kids were wearing Timberland boots way back when I was in high school. You know, but everything keeps revolving around. And then David, he says he's setting up something on Vocal, but the Facebook, I keep saying that Facebook is a gated community.
Yes.
And if I know David has something on Facebook, I'm going to take a look. If Pat has something that she puts up, I'm going to take a look. Why? Because I'm in connection with them.
Yes.
I'm not necessarily looking at other people's stuff. I don't do cats and lollipops. I just don't. But I'm looking for something that's of interest to me.
Yes, that's the key. And if you're doing something on Facebook video-wise or a photo, if it's not of interest to the person using Facebook, they're going to scroll by. There's nothing you can do about that. So, I mean, I see his point of, okay, we were told by Facebook that, you know, we're going to get all this engagement from live. But yes, you're getting engagement, but it's the same people that's coming to see you because they're interested in your topic. So I think because he feels like, well, the video views are such a dramatic drop off, and they're not, you know, people aren't stopping. He used an example of like a billboard on the highway. That's what he was saying. Like your video on Facebook is a billboard on the highway, and people are scrolling by, going, you know, oh, I'm going to my destination. There's a thing for IHOP. Oh, that's interesting, but I'm gonna keep going.
And so how much can you really grab in that little thing? You're supposed to be driving.
Yes.
You're not looking at TV. So when that flashes across and you can only grab it, and then if there is time, they flicked it over so quick that you can't gather the information.
They came over for the 3 seconds and left because they're not interested in what you're talking about. You cannot get upset with people over that. I understand his point, but then again, you have to say, listen, people are on Facebook for different things, and Facebook realized that in January and switched over and said, listen, Facebook is about friends and family. We're not going to promote your business. You can stay here and do what you want to do. But if you want engagement, you got to get those ads, and then we'll put them in front of people and then let them decide.
And here's the other thing too. It has to be something that's going to grab somebody's attention. Now, a company that we work with closely, Small Gorilla, Joshua, he has put together how to engage with the video. It cannot be more than 10 seconds. And you better have the story, because of the people scrolling through. I have stopped at some videos I wasn't planning on stopping at because it was of interest and it got my attention in the amount of time. In the first few seconds, it caught my attention. Oh, I need to check this out a little longer. Then I went back in there. And then when you put the text across the screen so people can read what's happening, it's not just a video, because nobody is listening to the audio when it comes across.
Right.
So live is better. And those who are following you will go back and watch it.
Yes. And see, I think this comes from Facebook said if we did live video, they will come. Everything is from this "they will come." I'm posting it. It will come. It's not the act of posting. It's not the act of the video. It's the content. It's the content matter. It's the subject matter. Most people on Facebook are not interested in talking about social media in the way that his show is talking about it. So he's going to get business people, which I think he might be better served on LinkedIn. But that's just my opinion. So a lot of people are seeing the world of Facebook, and there are plenty of audience to grab from and people to bring over to your cause and show them what you're doing. But if you're in a business mindset, Facebook is telling you for the last year, we're not concerned with you because you're doing a business, no matter what you do. Now, if you do ads, that's a different story.
That's because that's like TV commercials getting in front of somebody.
Yeah. So there's a whole discussion on Social Media Examiner page from Friday, and they talked about it. And he said, "Well, I'm taking my stuff to YouTube, but you can go to YouTube, but YouTube's a whole nother world that people there act differently than Facebook."
See, and I remember when we were on Blab, there was a gentleman who came on and he talked about the different neighborhoods.
Yes.
Facebook is a neighborhood. YouTube is a neighborhood. Twitter is a neighborhood. Snapchat is a neighborhood. And you need to know how the people speak in each one of those neighborhoods, because you're still going to have to do work to reach those people.
And that's what a part of the study is about, that you have to know that this generation, you can't take one piece of content, say you make a photo post and you write a caption and put it on Instagram, and you say, well, I'm going to share that everywhere because I'm too lazy to make content for each platform. And then you get mad because why didn't it work on Twitter? Because Twitter is something different. Or why didn't it work on Facebook? Because Facebook's something different. Or I put it on Snapchat. Every one of those platforms is a different world. So you can navigate all the worlds if you have the time and money, or if you pay someone, or you could say, my people are on LinkedIn. I'm going to concentrate on LinkedIn because I'm B2B. I'm business minded. Instead of trying to be everywhere, focus on one or two.
Be in the right neighborhood.
And be the best, put the best content on that one or two neighborhoods. If you're comfortable with YouTube and you know what you need to do on YouTube to make it work, because it's different from Facebook, then you do that.
Now, I just got something. I just found out that Seth Godin is on Twitter. He has not been on Twitter. I would get his posts. Yeah, I got his posts on. I get an email. I get his blog on an email.
Yes. Yeah, I do too. It's his blog. It's short and sweet, and that's it.
And now he didn't have podcasting for a while back either. And so now he has a podcast called Akimbo. And now he's on Twitter. And I was like, oh, Seth is on Twitter. That is major, because he wouldn't go on a whole bunch of platforms. You could always get to his blog, and he was primarily blog only. But I think people started asking, about it.
For him to be on Twitter?
Yeah, so because because he does have, now see, he has good content. He has something to say, and he doesn't take all day to say it either.
And see what I like, I'm looking at his, and I'm following him. And what I like is that all his stuff on Twitter is a link to his blog, but he has the best engagement. It's engaging. There's like one of them has 307 hearts, 124 retweets, 14 conversations. That means replies. So he has engagement on Twitter just by posting his blog link because he already had an audience.
Thank you, TJ. He already had an audience. He had already danced with the ones who wanted to be with him. Yeah. And they just decided, oh, he's over on Twitter, because I was one of the ones that follow him because I like his blog. He gets to the point, and then I was like, I was doing something in Twitter yesterday. I was going because I hadn't been over there in a while, and so I said, let me see what's happening over here, who's been following me, and da 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 da. And I was like, whoa, Seth has a blog. I mean, Seth has a Twitter account.
Yes, he does, and all he does is post. It's a picture of him and says Seth Blog, and it has like 1 or 2 words of the title and a link to the blog. But he's got conversations going on Twitter, but he's not in the conversation on Twitter.
All of the people are in the conversation.
How does he get that? By sharing a link to his blog, because Seth has been writing about marketing and stuff like this for years, more than 10, maybe 20 years. He's been in the long haul. So, and he's done a couple of sites. He did Squid. I remember Squid Do. He had something years ago.
Yes, Squid Do. Yes, and that was where his blog was.
Yes, and he had all kind of things he was testing it, but he always stuck with the blog, and it wasn't rambling. It was matter of fact. Here's a couple of sentences, a couple of paragraphs, and I'm done. And he would let the conversation flow around him, because he's like, I'm not here doing this, I'm not here doing that. So he can do this. He can share one piece of content everywhere. He could probably go on LinkedIn and get massive engagement because he's known, he has an audience, he knows what he's talking about, and people trust what he has to say.
So wait. Oh, you ran by those 3 points. He's known. People trust what he has to say, and there was something else you said.
Oh man, I forgot.
Okay, but anyway, he's known.
I have to rewatch it. And but he's known. He's the know, like, and trust. He got it down pat with one blog and his books and his speaking engagements. But those are things that he's built. He's built his brand years. It took him years to get to this point where he could just drop a link of Twitter, and it probably goes automatic. But he gets engagement. Now, if someone else tries this, it's not going to work because nobody knows you.
And because he was consistent with his blog, that was the only thing that you could watch, and you had to subscribe to his blog to get it. You could not get it on Facebook. You couldn't get it on Instagram or anywhere else. You had to subscribe to the blog in order to get it.
Right. Exactly right. So this subject is tied up together with video and teens and your audience. All of these things means that, if you're looking at Facebook and going, well, I'm going to do Facebook only. Okay, so do it, but learn what gets the attention on Facebook. Learn what gets the attention on Twitter.
And make sure the people that you're trying to reach are on the platform that you want to be on. Because just because you want to be on Facebook, but your audience is, like TJ said, over on LinkedIn, you might need to go to LinkedIn to generate some engagement. Because
honestly, and that's what I was thinking about with the social media examiner stuff. You can't get mad because people on Facebook are sharing and talking about you, but nobody's watching. It's because they don't care. Facebook cares about cute babies, puppies, unicorns, birthday parties, grandma, weddings, engagement, family, life stuff.
They're not looking. If you're doing business to business, you need to be on LinkedIn.
You need to be on LinkedIn. You really need to be on LinkedIn. That's where you should focus it. Or if you're going, like he's going to YouTube, he's going to put some of his shows there. You have to build up a library of content. It's a library of content to say, this is who I am. this is how you can trust me because I've talked about, okay, Seth, he's talked about stuff since 1980, 90, whatever. You can go to YouTube and search Seth Godin and you'll see speeches of his from 1990 something. So that tells you in your mind, this guy's been talking about marketing and stuff for a long time. He knows what he's talking about.
And David has got jokes again.
What is David saying?
Everybody knows me. I'm a fairly unimportant person on irrelevant platforms, so don't trust me just because I don't like you. Thank you, David.
While we talk about it, and we got off subject a little bit, but while we talk about this is because I see so many people crying out, I can't get anybody to follow me. I can't get anybody to do this. Why don't they share my stuff? Why don't they watch my videos? You have to look at what you're doing, what you're saying, the platform you're on, and how you're saying it. There's so many steps to this. This is just so many steps.
And you need, are you in the right neighborhood?
It's work, people. It's work. It's not.
You cannot. You're trying to sell ice cream truck. I mean, like you're pushing the ice cream.
In Alaska.
I was gonna say you have the little ice cream cart, but you're in Beverly Hills. You can't get through the gate in Beverly Hills. If you're in
Alaska, you can sell them a vacation in Florida because that's where they want to go. Like, I'm cold, it's 30 below. Show them a picture of Florida and I'm a travel and this is my trip and they're on it. Because you're showing, you're noticing where you are, and you're showing them something that they desire, need, or want.
Right.
And okay, and then you're talking about social media online, but you have to realize that where you are, you're only going to get so much out of that unless you decide, like I say, to go to LinkedIn where all the business people are hanging out, and they have companies, corporations that need what you're talking about. And now, but if you're on Facebook and mad because people are sharing it out to their personal profile and no one's watching, it's because the people on their friends list is like, why are you showing me this business stuff? I don't want to see this social media stuff. Get this thing off here. I want to see the cute puppies, the cute babies. I want to see grandma's birthday, and I want to see who got engaged. I want to see who had a party. I want to see this. I want to see college reunion pictures. Fun stuff. So they're not watching your video. What you gonna do? Decide to go somewhere. And he decided, okay, he's taking it to YouTube, and YouTube is a harder climb.
It is a harder climb, but he's got followers because I remember we used to follow to get information, right?
Yeah.
And David says, I know the answer to this. Stop talking about you. Stop talking about how great your product is. Stop screaming, look at me. No one pays attention to you because instead of you finding those who need help and reaching out to them, you just created your own revival tent in the middle of the desert and forgot to bring water.
I love that, David.
He said, hell no one wants to come out there. It's hot.
So eloquently. And we say this, and other people say this, and like I said, it's work to be on different platforms and tailor the content to different platforms. It's work. That's why you either put your time in, or if you don't have any time, then you're going to have to dig in your pocket, in your budget, and budget in someone to do the work.
Just because you keep throwing money at it doesn't mean it's going to work either, because the people are not over there. They don't want what you're offering. Then that means you need to go someplace else to the people who do. You are in the wrong neighborhood.
Yeah. So, I mean, but that was a discussion that came up, and I saw that it spilled over to some other people's page, like Mari, what's her name? The Facebook lady. Is it Mari Smith? Yes, the blonde lady. It spilled over to her page, and they were talking about stuff over there about video and watch time and video not working and blah. So it's like a lot of people just running around and instead of saying, listen, figure out, if you're staying on Facebook, figure out what you need to do. If you want to move to Pinterest, figure out how to work over there. Pinterest is great for, it's female oriented. There are males over there. There has some, some male demographics there, but it's mostly female, looking at weddings, looking at crafting, looking at cooking, all those kind of things. So
and you really need to pay attention. You really have to pay attention. Oh, attention is necessary. You need to figure out where you should be, not necessarily just doing something to try and get something. Where are the people that you serve? Where are the people in your neighborhood? The people that you meet when you're walking down the street, where are they? Where are the people you're supposed to help? Like David put it over here so eloquently. Where are the people you're supposed to help? If the people that you're supposed to help, especially with social media and helping them build a brand and all of that, you're not finding them on Facebook. You probably won't find them on YouTube. You'll probably find them on LinkedIn because they don't have a clue on how to build and do all of that.
Right. And you can, what you're trying to accomplish, you can do with Facebook, but let's forget the organic part of it. It's all paid ads now.
And the paid ads may not necessarily work. Coach Karen said something. You're going to have to do some stuff offline too.
Yeah, it's a combination of things. It's you're at the buffet and you got to figure out, well, do I want the shrimp or do I want the chicken or do I want the this or I want a little salad? You have to figure that out. So the part where no one's watching, well, you have to figure out, do I really want to get Facebook people to watch me? Okay, then let me do some ads, and you don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on ads on Facebook.
And it's a really good spend if you craft the ad enough.
Yes.
The crafted way. Normally, when you create the ad, you're going to create an ad where that they can click it and it'll take them to wherever you need them to buy.
Yes,
normally to Amazon or something.
Call to action, not for likes. Not for likes. You need to actually do something like sign up for something or buy something or
check out, because I was looking at some promo videos and they kept putting, wait, there's a buffet. David is funny. There were promo videos coming up, right?
Yeah.
And I saw something because I was in need of a database management or CRM. And the way they had put the video together was very quickly done. And it was like, we're easy to work with and da 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 da. And so I clicked it. And now I'm using HubSpot just because of a quick little video that they had.
Yes.
And it said, try us for free for one, try us for free.
But that's the call to action. When we talked about this, the call to action with Netflix is very basic. Sign up for 30 days. The call action for this HubSpot, sign up for 30. That's the call to action.
And then if I didn't like it, I didn't have to sink a grip of money into it and feel like, oh, I got taken for a ride. I was able to try it out. And I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And you have to, all of the stuff, you're going to have to work it and figure it out. It's not going to be like you think. You're going to have to work. And it's going to take time for you to learn. Hey, Donna.
And that's what we're doing here. I mean, the part of this, what we're doing here, on Tuesdays, on Fridays, pretty much every day is give you the tools that you need to do that work, the necessary information. So that's why this study today is so important, because you're looking at this youth generation. They have money, they have discretionary income. They're, like Fran said, they're influencing their parents, because everything flows from what the kids are doing. It all comes into, especially because we have phones and devices and social media. It's an instantaneous thing now. It used to take, months or a year or two, for it to flow into normal, what's going on today. Like, when you watch TV or TV commercials or whatever, it's instantaneous now. So the gap there is short now. So, and I had some more stuff. So let's get back to it. The brand preferences that they're concerned about. So brands matter to this group. 45% of teens say brand is most important in making a purchase versus 33% 6 years ago. So in 6 years, it's risen to 45% from 33%, where teens say brand matters. And they want to be connected to brands. They want that. So now the streetwear styles and what the kids are wearing, like like my daughter's at high school, they're wearing this, the Vans and this. So the brand that they're looking at now, Tommy Hilfiger is coming back. Supreme, that's one of those really hot ones now. It's it has a red square and white writing. CK and Champion. Champion is really big now. Rise, another brand that's rising from the ashes.
Wait, the Champions from Champions, the one that you can buy at Payless Shoe Source. They're back.
Yep, the Cache. They have Cache with the kids.
Okay.
Champion, the Champion brand.
Look, I'm doing good. I got a couple of pair.
So, and then they're even in the luxury brands, including Off-White, Balenciaga, and Gucci. So Gucci has really come. I've seen a lot of talk about Gucci lately because there was a hip hop a designer that he did stuff for hip hop artists in the 90s, Dapper Dan, here in Harlem in New York. So he designed all of the leather jackets and stuff that the rappers wore in the 90s. So if you go back to the videos, you'll see all the stuff. He designed most of that. So Gucci has done a collaboration with him. So he has things going on fashion wise that are bringing the brand back up. So Gucci's one of those that's on the radar. Nike again. Adidas is coming up. Here's a one that I was like, I gotta look at this. Amazon. Tease up Amazon. Why?
Because it gets delivered to your house. You ain't got to
Prime. We talk about Amazon a lot here. So Prime. The parents have Prime. The parents have the device that you ask it something. You ask it to buy something.
Right.
You look on your phone and you buy it because the parents bought the Prime membership. So Amazon is one of the favorite websites. So they're saying it increased from 44% last spring to 47% this fall. The last one, intent to buy iPhone, continues to climb. So 86% of Gen Z will choose the iPhone compared to 84% last spring, they're saying. So it's going up, iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a surprise.
No, even though some people try and say it's not all that and people are not buying that and it's expensive, we have said this before. iPhone is not the only $1,000 phone. They are all $1,000.
Right.
All of them.
So they want to give it a bad rap. Oh, $1,000 phone. Well, does it Samsung have a phone that's?
All of them have $1,000 phone. Right.
So I don't understand why they want to pick on that, but oh well. So we got the iPhone, we got the iWatch. So all of those things the teens are looking at, and those are the brands that they prefer. These are the brands that they prefer, and these brands can actually reach out and do stuff to touch them, and they will pay attention. Versus some other generation that we don't want advertising, we want brands to to reach out to us and try to get us to come to them. But these teens they're very brand conscious.
Okay, see, I'm in good company. I have a pair of Adidas, and I have 2 pair of Champions.
Yeah, so Champion, yeah. And I heard about this a couple of weeks ago I forgot where I was on an online forum somewhere. They were talking about Champion, and someone said, Champion, the shoes that you can get from Payless, that's the hot brand. They were like so shocked. Like, really? I was like, well.
Well, see, here's the thing. Skechers used to be in Payless Shoe Stores too.
Yeah. Now they have their own stores and stuff. So, and brands, this shows you brands go up and down. I remember Tommy Hilfiger was big in the 90s. It went down, and now they're coming back.
Right.
So Tommy Hilfiger, Champion, Gucci, Adidas. So there you go.
Yes. So I've learned a lot today. David is still talking over here. David, what is NF? And what is NSFW? David is always
not safe for work. What did you click that was not safe for work? Let me check this out.
I don't know. Not safe for work. I don't know what that was. I just clicked on the HubSpot, and that's so I don't know what David was talking about. When purchasing Apple today, you are automatically eligible for the iBroke add-on. Don't know what you're talking about there, David.
He's saying your eye broke because you spent so much money on the phone. iPhone, I broke. I guess.
I don't know. David has got jokes.
Get inside of David's mind.
Yes, and you can find out what's on David's mind. He is going to be doing a Get Vocal at 12:30 today, Tuesday Chit Chat over on Get Vocal. He put a link in the chat, so if you all want to jump over there and hang out with David, he'll be doing that today at 2.
Yeah, I'll jump in for a minute, but I won't have time to stick around. Yeah. So let's do some takeaways. Like, okay, this information is good, but how does it affect me? So think about this. No matter what you sell, if you want to attract Gen Z, you must have a robust social media presence. That means Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook are important for Generation Z. And we said it earlier. You don't have to do them all. Pick the one that fits your business, what you have to do. And if you have time to create the content, if you don't, then you know what you got to do. You got to hire somebody. So you want to make sure you're on social media. This is even more evidence that social media is not going away. It's becoming more ingrained into what we do, as versus it being a layer on top that it used to be when it first came out. I was like, oh, social media. Now it's just like, okay, you just get on and you just go to Facebook and interact with brands, or Instagram. You can shop, but it's being integrated into our lives because of the device.
And here's the other thing: people are going to look for you on online first. They're going to Google you, and if they can't find you, they don't trust you.
Right. Exactly. So another thing Gen Z likes is contributing to charities. They care about giving back to the environment, being environmentally responsible, taking a stand on social issues. We saw that with Nike, with the Colin Kaepernick deal, where everybody thought Nike had destroyed their brand. And I was like, no way. Nike knows themselves. They know their people. They know their audience. And they even better. Their sales are even better. Shut up. So that's one of the things that you have to know, and especially with Nike, because that's, their thing is targeting the youth market. So when you saw people burning their Nikes and all that stuff, those were older fans. And Nike was like, well, sorry, but we don't really care about you. I hate to put it that way, but
we got other people wearing our stuff.
Yeah, you had a jersey. You haven't bought a jersey in 5 years. Versus the kid over there that buys one every year, or every 6 months or whatever, every 3 months, whenever. So the turnover of sales, they saw the boat with, the youth, and they said, well, what do they care about? There you go. So Nike was pretty smart with that. But they care about, like I said, environmental responsible. But you have to be authentic with this thing, with this, caring about causes. You don't want to be like Pepsi and misstep when they did that commercial with the Kardashian girl, and
that wasn't quite cool.
They kind of made her the face of the movement, and she's not really involved with all that. So you have to be authentic. It has to ring true, and don't fake it, because this generation, they can see fake.
They can spot fake off.
Oh yeah, they like, that's fake, I'm gone.
Donna says that her husband bought Nike after that, and then Pat must be shopping. She said Amazon is amazing. When I clicked on track your package, it said that the driver was 7 stops away, and I was able to count down and watch the Amazon van pull up right on schedule. Kids nowadays probably take that kind of service and accessibility for granted, and most likely think that people my age are marveling over such silly things, because we didn't get it delivered like that.
They grew up with it, so you got to think technology. You have to think satellites. You have to think GPS for all of the stuff to track this and that. That's science and technology and GPS. So those things are great, and she's right. These are things that they grew up with. It's not them taking it for granted. They grew up with it. Like if you grew up with TV, I'm pretty sure like your grandparents or great grandparents or whoever, they grew up with radio, so they're like the TV. So every generation has the thing where they're looking at the youth and going, you guys are taking this for granted. When I was, when I was a kid, I had to walk 5 miles in the snow. Those kind of things you tell kids, and it goes in and out.
Yeah, they're like, whatever.
Yeah. So before this, it was video games. You know, those. It's every generation has their thing where the older generation says that. So, but if we're looking at, you know, cultivating this group and getting their attention, these are some of the things we know. Another thing is that they're saying, the study is saying that 72% of Generation Z consumers say that cost is the most important factor when making a purchase. So cost is one of those things, because some of these, the older ones, you know, they got student loans and, you know, college debt and stuff like that. So that, though, this would be like the older top of Gen Z.
And here's the other thing: Gen Z is not trying to get into no college debt.
Nope.
They're not.
The younger
they're like,
ones, no. The younger end of it, probably not. No, but the older, they still, you know.
Yeah, because they bought into that story, but some of the younger ones, they're like, nah.
Yeah, so this is it. That they saw their parents. They're saying that they saw their parents lose jobs, homes, or saving during the recession that we had, and all of this has sharpened their sense of the value of a dollar. So they are going to look at things. They might want something, but if they check their pocket, then my pocket kind of empty, I'm going to have to pass. So they're not going to go into debt for the, you know, having the pleasure of a brand or this or that. But, you know, necessities, yes. So, and then the last thing we want to talk about is, like, you want to provide opportunity for Gen Z to connect with you, to have a conversation with you. And the best way to do that, we were saying, social media. So you want to engage them on social media by asking for photo, video, or other content. So this is that user-generated content with your product, your service. You want to encourage their use, and for them to share that they use your product or they're happy with your service. Share that online. Okay?
Yep. This has been good today, TJ.
I'm glad. I try my best. Like I said,
hey, Tachi's in the house.
We were last. Oh, Tachi's here. Hey. So, you know, we got started a little late. There was a little, you know, a little technical stuff in the beginning because, like, I wanted to try something. It looks like it's working. So I'm happy with what's going on. We always love the chat and the thoughts and the opinions that you guys have in the live and the replay. Like I said at the beginning, we don't forget about replay viewers. So if you're watching replay, you can put hashtag replay gang. You can put, hey ladies, whatever you want to type in. Just put something in the chat, the comments, and let us know that, you know, that you watched and that you're watching. And we, you know, we had this big discussion. So, you know, this was last minute. I found out about the study, and I was like, I love to talk about, especially marketing and data studies like this. So, like, hey, we got to talk about this, because there are things, like I said, we did the takeaway, like, this is important, but why? For you, when you're doing stuff online, when you're trying to get known, you're trying to grow a brand, you're starting a Shopify store and you want to get sales, all of these things. And if you're doing an online store, you're in business. You might not consider yourself a business owner, but you have to, you know, look at the stuff that business owners are looking at and be concerned with. This is all about sales at the end of the day. But you don't want to push that agenda. You want to, you know, develop the relationship first, and you have to know them first. Like Terry always says, this is dating. It's about dating.
Right. Pat says one mistake I see people making these days is assuming that everyone in the same generation are experiencing the same thing. Lots of poor kids growing up now will be just as surprised and thrilled by technology as us old folks who are experiencing it later in life.
Yes. And so that's why with this study, they did, like I said, they did an average household income of 55 per year, and then they did one that was over 100 per year. So they looked at two different ends of it. So I just thought it was, you know, we should talk about it, because they caught my eye when they said Instagram is now more popular brand wise over Snapchat. And I'm thinking, Snapchat is still hanging in there. They're not doing great, you know, but they're hanging in there. They're still there.
Right.
Okay. So I thank you guys for participating, for watching, for listening. We're happy that you decided to join the conversation. Like I said, this is conversation. I give, we talk about, this is the information we have, and then we talk about it and see what you guys think, and we mix all that together.
Right. Tachi says Snap is trying.
With some tech in there.
Yes. And yeah, so we will talk to you all again tomorrow. Coach Karen will be in talking about money and our mind on money. Then Thursday, we'll be talking about a little health and wellness. And Friday, we'll be talking tech. So we want you to come back. Tachi, if you'd like to take a seat with us on as a Tech Divas, we'd be happy to have you on so you can share what's happening, in tech and social media. We always have a seat for you. So with that, we will see you all tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
Bye. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.